Hello everyone, Lasley here, and welcome you back to another Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp video. This time around, I would like to show off how you can get a lot of money in a short period of time, relatively speaking. However, there are some prerequisites before you do that. Before we do that though, I just want to go into Hachi's shop briefly because pretty good reason to grind money is because a lot of this stuff can really start to accumulate. You see I only have one song left, but that's because it was a lot of them you have to unlock. The Reboot Camp soundtrack is a big upgrade over the original GBA games. There are a lot more music tracks, and there's also a lot more maps to buy too, including 2 map cases. I already bought one of them, but there's still this other one that's 1,200 coins. And just so you know, the max payout you can get in regular, so casual or classic campaign, is if you do casual, you'll get at most 300 coins, right? And if you do the classic, you get a 30 coin bonus, which is nice, I guess. But there is a challenge campaign for each of the, larger campaigns, because kind of weird to think that there's 2 games, because Reboot Camp is kind of like one game, but it's got 2 campaigns. So at any rate, the mission that I will be covering for money grinding is already in progress, for reasons. Anyways, so in Advance Wars Reboot Camp, there are 2 save files for each campaign. You start with the casual/campaign. Yes, it's the same save file, you swap between the 2. That kind of implies that you're playing on the same maps, but the casual version might give you a couple more units, maybe it'll give you an extra starting city or 2, to make things a little easier, but still, this is still Advance Wars, so some of these missions are still not a walk in the park, even with the casual setting. Now, I prefer to play on casual in here because it's different from the original game. That's just my preference. If I really wanted to play the classic experience, I would just play the original GBA games for the most part. That said, the scores between casual and classic are still separate, so you are encouraged to do both. But not for money grinding. Now, if you want to do money grinding, you first have to have beaten the first campaigns. It can be on casual or classic. You don't have to do both. You can still just do casual, and you will still unlock the challenge campaign. You technically have to buy it for 1 coin at Hachi's shop, but that's kind of a joke. That was also a case in the original games, where you unlocked the ability to buy the difficult campaigns for a very cheap price. It's almost like it was obligatory that they had to charge a price for it. I don't know, it's kind of funny, but anyway. Let's go into the challenge campaign. As you can see, I haven't made much progress. It's almost like this is a difficult thing or something like that. I don't know. But a change that they made to Reboot Camp is that they do still have field training, but it's heavily abridged. And I mean heavily abridged. There was like 14, 15 missions of this in the original Advance Wars. It's been cut down to 3 in its own tutorial, which goes down the absolute basics. And then they picked 3 more missions that are just made into proper campaign missions that all take place before the actual first campaign mission from the original Advance Wars. Which is kind of good because it's actually pretty tough, because this is one of those missions you have to do a HQ cap to basically win. You know, that's kind of the funny thing about these hard versions of Advance Wars missions. There seems to be only one real solution, and that doesn't really make them very fun in a lot of cases. But I guess the original developers and the current developers of this game, Way Forward, they thought about that. So you get double coin payout whenever you clear a mission in any of the challenge campaigns. Now, of the first 3 missions, as you can see, the first one, Tank Ops, you would think the first one would be the easiest. It probably is, but I don't really feel that way. I actually feel like the second one is the easiest of these 3, and you'll see why. But it did take me a lot of trial and error. Anyway, as you can see, 9 days, and I was just shy of the perfect 300. So best case for that one is probably 8 turns, or 8 days. And it's the same thing with this one. Actually, this one might be 7, looking at the score. I just barely got the S on that one. But here's a fun fact about scoring in the challenge campaign. I don't know if it really applies to Reboot Camp, but in the original Advance Wars 1 Advanced Campaign, your power and technique scores would always be maxed out, so you only had to worry about your speed. So I think they compensated for that by having some of the most ridiculous day speed requirements in the series. Some of those are just ridiculous to clear within the speed limit. But at least you don't have to worry about killing a certain amount of units or losing your own units. You can lose all but one of your units, just the one infantry to Copter HQ, and not kill any units, and you'll still get the max power and technique score. Which is kind of crazy. I'm not sure if the Reboot Camp version has that, but it's not really going to matter. So, now that you got all the basics down, let's dive right into Mission 2, Copter Tactics, which apparently the best case scenario is 5 days for the perfect 300. And I know this because I've already played through this version of the mission several times to get some serious coinage. Now, we are going to speed through this. I'm not going to have animations on, but there is a very specific way that you can clear this, and it involves Nell's CO power. Now, in the original Advance Wars field training, you were not able to use Nell's CO power. I'm not even sure. I think her day-to-day still applied, where sometimes she'll randomly strike with up to plus 20% firepower. I could have sworn it was plus 10% originally, but I don't know. But her CO power Lucky Star, quote-unquote, may randomly strike with up to plus 60% firepower. But they also gain 10% firepower and defense, so that probably comes in clutch. Now, Olaf's CO power, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to be blunt about it. It doesn't matter in this context, because this is a small map. All of your fighting and combat is going to be close range. So first, and this one's probably the most obvious, you want to take this anti-air and attack this copter from the plains tile. You might be wondering, why the plains tile and not the road tile? Because you want to use your medium tank to do this. 1 HP tank. And now you need to be mindful of the attack range of these mechs. It's tempting to put the artillery here right behind the medium tank, but no, it'll get shot by the mechs, and you don't want that. You want the artillery to be in good shape. These battlecopters only really have one target, this tank, which they can both easily kill. Even if you weren't playing as a lucky CO, you would probably still get that range. So anyways, with this APC, you want to move it, again, just out of the range of the mechs. And so right on this tile. And I'm not sure if you have to drop the mech here, but, I mean, why not? That mech is eventually going to be doing some action anyway. You will see. The mechs don't do a lot, but I assure you that pretty much all of your quote-unquote game pieces here are essential to getting that day 5 score. So is the case. Anyways, we could just fast forward through this. As far as I can tell, the enemy movements are pretty much consistent, which is actually kind of crazy. Now then, another obvious thing to do, use this anti-air and one-shot this mech from the forest. And the other mech, here's the idea here. You want to use units to block make choke points here on these bridges. And since Olaf doesn't have any anti-air, the battlecopters are pretty much safe. They do take kind of a beating from the medium tanks, but not enough. Anyways, one B-copter goes on this forest tile, the other one goes here, attack the mech, and then you can use this mech or the other mech. I don't think it really matters, but I prefer this one to finish that mech off. And then this artillery will attack this medium tank. And while you may think it's good to retreat the 4 HP tank, or medium tank, in order to heal it up, you actually want to just finish off the 3 HP medium tank. Every time I retreat this unit, it always takes me like 6 to 7 turns to finish this map, which obviously is not the perfect score. Alright, so move all your infantry as much as possible. Be mindful of this artillery range. Don't put your APC or your mech in range of the artillery. I believe we are going to be seeing the first of at least 2 blizzards from Olaf. I'm sorry, Olaf. Because, oh, we are going to laugh at his attempt to salvage this. And to be fair, at least in Advance Wars 1 style, he gets 10% firepower in the snow. That's just because everyone gets 10% firepower and defense in Advance Wars 1 when they use their CO powers. Now, you're close to your lucky start at this point, but you actually don't want to activate it right now. Just attack the medium tank with that copter. Don't activate it this turn. Just use your artillery to do stuff. Actually, on this turn, I'm kind of brain farting a little bit. I'm trying to think. I believe, like... No, it's fine. We'll just attack that and then use the artillery to get that medium tank. We do still have to worry about the artillery to some extent, but here's what we're going to do here. We're going to move the mech here and the anti-air there. And one infantry we want to have here, because one of the infantry is actually going to do something. Alright, so next turn the snow clears up. It never bothered me much anyway. So, of course, Olaf is going to be weird with his unit placement. And hopefully I get this right, but activate your CO power right away.
I'm just getting started. Lucky star.
Gotta say, I like all the little animations they added, like in general, like literally falling lucky stars. So with Lucky Star, every time I've done this, this artillery one-shots that artillery. And then next, you move the copter here, and yeah, you just kind of do that. And then anti-air finishes off that infantry, move the infantry here, because you probably know what this infantry is going to do. So, and then you can have these infantry cap cities, because why not? And then this battlecopter attacks this medium tank. I'm not sure if the tile matters here, but that is a lot of damage. And then this mech finishes off that medium tank. APC here, and then mech here. And you might think, oh, you're going to lose some units doing this. You already lost one unit, which you're actually allowed to do. Even if you didn't get a guaranteed perfect power or technique score here, you still would probably get it just because of all of the units you clear in one turn in this map. And also the fact you're only going to lose that one medium tank if you play this correctly, which, I don't know, it seems like I have. Okay, this looks a little different, actually. I'm a little worried about this. I don't know if the medium tank is going to get finished off now. Oh, crud. Yep. I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of variance here. Yeah, I don't know. I think this might still be fine. I think I salvaged it. Yep, salvaged it. You'd be surprised how clutch that anti-air can come when it comes to finishing off the medium tanks when they're at 2 HP or less. Anyways, if you do it in 5 days, you get the perfect 300, as far as I know. Like, even if you didn't get guaranteed power technique. And there you go. And we're not ending the video quite yet, because I want to show you that you do indeed get double this. You get your score ×2 in coins. And the total time that takes with animations off and you speeding up most of the time, it's like 5 to 10 minutes. This is hands down the best way, the fastest and most efficient way to get money in the game that I know of. If you know of a better one, you're more than welcome to post a follow-up video, but I don't know, this one seems pretty good to me, Chief. So why don't we just go back to Hachi's shop and use that money to buy some stuff? Because, yeah, you get 600 coins every time. You're going to be clearing out this shop pretty quickly. But I do kind of want to save up money for the map case, actually, so we will do that. Alright, hope this video was helpful to y'all. Get you some money and buy out Hachi's shop, why not? And, yeah, see you next time for, I don't know what the next Advance Wars Reboot Camp video will be, but I'm sure it will be interesting. So see you around the flip side.
Good luck on the battlefield.